Breaking news just in. The Supreme Court has delivered a ruling that could send shockwaves through the American economy, the political landscape, and the global trade network. This decision directly challenges former President Donald Trump's aggressive trade policies, striking down tariffs that were meant to protect U.S. industries. Experts are already calling this one of the most significant trade-related decisions in decades. With markets reacting, businesses scrambling, and politicians weighing in, this ruling is far more than a legal opinion. It's a major pivot point for America's economic future. Stay with us as we break down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what it means for Trump, U.S. trade, and the global economy moving forward.
The Supreme Court has struck down former President Donald Trump's tariffs, declaring them illegal and beyond the scope of executive authority. These tariffs, which affected billions of dollars in imports from countries including China, Canada, and Mexico, were originally intended to protect American manufacturing jobs and strengthen domestic industries. Now, the highest court in the land has issued a verdict that could reshape the very rules of American trade policy. In today's report, we'll break down the details of this ruling, explore why the court acted, and analyze the immediate and long-term effects on American businesses, consumers, and international relations. This isn't just another political story. It's a decision with far-reaching implications for every American who buys, sells, or invests in goods across borders.
So, why did this legal showdown happen in the first place? During his presidency, Donald Trump implemented sweeping tariffs on key imports, claiming they were necessary to protect American jobs and reduce trade deficits. However, critics argued that these tariffs exceeded presidential authority, bypassing Congress and imposing unilateral economic measures without proper legislative approval. The Supreme Court's decision confirms these concerns, stating that the executive branch cannot unilaterally impose such sweeping trade restrictions without oversight. This ruling highlights the ongoing tension between the White House and the judicial system when it comes to checks and balances. Legal analysts warn that the decision sets a precedent that could limit the power of future presidents, making it clear that executive action in trade matters is not limitless and must comply with established law.
Like any major economic decision, Trump's tariffs had both advantages and significant drawbacks. On the positive side, tariffs were designed to shield American industries from foreign competition, incentivize domestic production, and create jobs in manufacturing sectors. For companies struggling to compete with imported goods, these measures provided temporary relief and a protective buffer. But on the flip side, these same tariffs came at a high cost. American consumers often faced higher prices on everyday products, from electronics to household goods, while exporters faced retaliatory tariffs from trade partners. Economists warned that these policies could strain international relations and even provoke trade wars, affecting industries far beyond the ones initially targeted. With the Supreme Court now nullifying these measures, we are left to wonder, do the benefits outweigh the consequences, or did the tariffs create more problems than solutions?
Experts and analysts are weighing in on what this ruling means for the future of U.S. trade policy. Constitutional scholars say the decision reinforces the principle that the executive branch cannot act without legal authority when it comes to major economic interventions. Economists emphasize that businesses now face uncertainty. While the ruling removes tariffs, it also signals that any future trade measures could be subjected to legal scrutiny, adding complexity to corporate planning. Trade policy specialists warn that this ruling could have ripple effects in negotiations with countries like China, Canada, and Mexico as they reassess their positions and strategies. In short, the Supreme Court has sent a clear message. Trade policy cannot be unilaterally wielded, and the balance between executive action and legislative oversight will continue to define America's economic landscape. The implications of this ruling extend far beyond legal precedent. With tariffs invalidated, U.S. businesses that relied on imported goods may see costs decrease, while exporters may find international markets more accessible. However, uncertainty remains. Future presidents may face constraints on imposing similar tariffs, potentially limiting options in responding to economic crises or international trade disputes. Markets are reacting cautiously, with analysts predicting shifts in stock prices, trade flows, and investment strategies. Furthermore, this decision could shape the upcoming political landscape, especially as candidates debate the proper role of executive power in economic policy. For consumers, businesses, and policymakers, the message is clear. America's trade strategy is entering a new era, where legal oversight will play a central role in shaping economic decisions.
Trump versus the Supreme Court, the battle over America's trade future is far from over. This ruling not only reshapes policy but also sets the stage for political debates, economic strategy, and international relations. Will this decision stabilize trade, or will it ignite new tensions in Washington and beyond? As Americans, it's crucial to follow how this unfolds because the impact touches every consumer, business, and investor in the nation. We want to hear your thoughts. How do you think this Supreme Court ruling will affect the U.S. economy and global trade? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and stay tuned. We'll continue to bring you every update, analysis, and expert insight on this historic trade showdown.